For this video, I am visiting yet another graveyard. This one is along the Bar Hill Road in Cumnock. Originally, this area was where the gallows were located, a fact that is significant to our story. Today, I want to tell you about a man who was buried twice. The large monument located here is in his honor. His name was Alexander Peden. Without question, if I make many more of these videos, then Peden will feature often in them, as his life was truly fascinating, and if turned into a Hollywood movie, would probably seem too unreal. For example, I would recommend looking up Peden's Mask, though I hope to do a video about it someday. Today, I will just mention the fact that he was one of the most famous of the Covenanter preachers, those who would hold illegal meetings to preach to people all over the area. To perhaps oversimplify, a Covenanter was one who followed the National Covenant of 1637, which pledged the people to serve God and stated that they would do so in a Presbyterian style rather than the Episcopalian style. Peden was thought to be a prophet, making many predictions and having many amazing escapes from the authorities. There's so much more I could say about him, but today I want to focus on his death and what took place soon after. Despite being constantly on the run, unlike many Covenanters, Peden actually died from illness around age 60. He was said to know death was coming and left the cave that he was hiding in near the River Luger to journey to his brother's farm, where he passed away. His body was taken up to Auchinleck to be buried in a local church, and that should have been where our story comes to an end, but it is not. The authorities discovered where Peden was buried, and soldiers were sent to dig him up and then take his body to the gallows in nearby Cumnock to be hanged. Which brings us back to this hill in Cumnock. The soldiers were stopped from hanging Peden's body by the Earl of Dumfries, whose wife admired Peden and his preaching. But in order to humiliate Peden, the soldiers buried his body at the foot of the gallows, a sign of dishonor. Later, to dishonor others killed for attending covenant meetings, or even for carrying a Bible, or not saying that the king was the head of the church. During what became known as the killing times, many others were buried near the gallows to dishonor them. After the Glorious Revolution, when Presbyterianism again became the norm in Scotland, people sought to honor those like Peden, who served faithfully, and so the hill was turned from gallows into graveyard, and several monuments were built upon it. So there we have it. This is a short version of the account of Alexander Peden, who was buried twice.